Are you having trouble deciding which heroes should be on your squad? Like, would it be better to have a Lord Balrog with this lineup? Should I swap in Flamestrike? And if so, who should I remove? If that is the case, then listen in as I go over some guidelines to help you make a high caliber team, whether you are just starting or a veteran player. I broke the game down into 3 progress stages based on your team's hero composition, because the approach for each is different. First, early game is for teams with 1 to 4 star heroes. Second is mid game, where your team has 5 to 6 star heroes. Finally, we have late game, which is when your team consists of 7 to 10 star heroes. Before I begin, this guide is not to tell you 6 heroes you need to make a god squad. I am here to give you a framework to help make these day-to-day decisions that will give you the best team possible at any stage of the game to help you progress. Without further ado, let's get started. Early game is when you have a team consisting of heroes that are mostly 1 to 4 stars. This is a very fluid part of the game where you will be making constant lineup changes. Follow these rules and guidelines to minimize the number of changes and wasted resources. First, only invest spirit and promotion stones to level 3 and 4 star heroes. You will get a 3 to 4 star team quickly, and all those resources will be a limiting factor early on. 2. Make sure to fill all 6 hero slots regardless of level or role, DPS, tank, healer, etc. Even if you have a 1 star level 1 DPS, some damage is better than none at this point. Early game team prioritization. This is how to decide who to put on your team. When you are questioning whether to swap, add, or remove a hero from your lineup, look at the hero's stars first. This is the most important factor early in the game. You will want to replace all of your 1, 2, and 3 star heroes as quickly as possible, regardless of any other factors such as role, faction, etc. Once you have a 4 star lineup, move to the second item on the list to further improve your team. Role is the second deciding factor and should be taken into account when you have a full star squad. An early game team should have 1 warrior tank, 1 warrior off tank DPS, 3 or 4 various role DPS such as assassin, mage, or ranger, and a priest healer if you have one. This balanced team composition with multiple roles will help your DPS stay alive longer so you can dominate the arena and progress further in the campaign and tower. Now that you have a complete 4 star lineup that also includes all the necessary roles for a solid team composition, you can move on to the third deciding factor, faction. There are 6 factions in Idle Heroes: Abyss, which is red, Forest, green, Shadow, light blue, Fortress, blue, Light is gold, and Dark is purple. Each faction has 1 strength and 1 weakness. We want to utilize these strengths and weaknesses by creating a diverse faction lineup that will be well-rounded to succeed in the majority of battles. This multi-faction squad will help you progress much further than a singular faction one. I would also not recommend wasting resources to level, say, an all Abyss hero team just to beat an all Forest campaign stage. Save those resources for the expensive leveling process of your first 5-star hero. To recap, you should have an all 4-star squad that has the appropriate roles to make up a solid team composition consisting of diverse hero factions. After all of these 3 priorities are complete, you should only invest in your current lineup and wait to get your first 5-star hero. I will explain the remaining 2 deciding factors just so you are familiar with them in the following game progress stages. But once you get a 5-star hero, please refer to the middle game portion of the video because how you develop your team is completely different. The fourth prioritization is quality. Quality can be thought of the rank or tier of a hero. For example, some 5-star heroes are better than other 5-star heroes. In the early game, I would not worry too much about quality because all 4-star heroes will turn into fodder that will help awaken your 5-star heroes. However, I have put together a spreadsheet containing a list of all hero information at each stage of the game, such as stats and ranking by hero class, main tank, warrior, assassin DPS, priest healer, etc. Check it out by clicking the link in the description. The final prioritization is synergy and faction bonus. Team synergy is how well your hero's active and passive skills work together. Faction bonus is various stat increases that can only be acquired by having a certain number of each faction on your squad. That concludes the early game portion of the video. Keep watching for mid-game help. Middle game guidelines. 5-star to 6-star hero squad. I am going to define the middle game as a relatively short and selective time period while you transition from a 4-star squad to a 5 and 6-star squad. No, and I mean no heroes should be advanced to 7 stars using the following team prioritization. The middle game stage is to get you an initial power boost to advance further in the game without wasting too many resources and still setting yourself up for a high quality end game lineup. Mid-game team prioritization. Your main focus should be replacing all of those 4-star heroes with any 5-star hero. At this point, don't worry about any other factor except getting 6 5-star heroes on your squad. The next factor to prioritize is quality. Once you have a full 5-star squad, you want to work on obtaining and leveling only 5-star heroes that will awaken into a formidable late game force. To keep it simple, I broke all the 5-star heroes into 4 tiers. S tier is the best, progressing down to A, B, and C, which is the worst tier at this stage in the game. I have also created a spreadsheet, which is the same one as before, with all 5-star stats and some of my personal rankings for tier and skills. Use this sheet by clicking the link in the description as a guideline to help you make decisions on all of your lineup questions. A general rule of thumb is replace all C tier 5-star heroes as quickly as possible. S tier heroes should instantly be put into the lineup at this stage. Then, it is okay to have at least 1 or 2 B tier heroes in your squad, but I would awaken them last, giving you more time to replace them. Once your squad consists of mostly A tier heroes and above, you will want to focus on getting specific roles that make up a balanced team composition. For mid-game, I would run 1 main tank warrior, 3 various DPS, and 2 flex positions. These flex positions can be off-tank DPS warriors, priest healers, or other DPS champions. Mid-game is still heavily based on how lucky you get, and those flex positions help account for that. Hero faction is the last consideration and should only be taken into account after you have fulfilled the first 3 prioritizations. I try to have a diverse faction team with light and dark heroes of A tier quality or higher so you can take advantage of all the faction strength and weaknesses. It is also beneficial to have diverse faction 5 and 6-star heroes so you can quickly awaken them by not having to wait for, say, only Abyss faction fodder. Late game 7 to 10-star hero prioritization. Up until this point, the majority of decisions are dependent on what heroes you happen to come across first and work your way from there. This is a stage of the game where every decision, past and present, becomes extremely important. Mistakes become evident and progress can be extremely slow. However, if you followed these guidelines early and got a little lucky on the way, you should already be on the road to success. or at least have the capability to get there without taking costly detours. These late game team prioritizations you are about to see are completely different from early and mid game. The quality of your heroes becomes extremely important here. As you proceed to endgame, where heroes' level and gear will be similar, you need to look for every advantage you can get to defeat your opponent, no matter how small. The difference between the quality of heroes will be one of the largest boosts you can give your team and should be the first priority when getting your endgame lineup. For those who skipped right to the endgame help, I created an Excel sheet, click the link in the description, that lists all 6-star hero stats and some personal tier and skill rankings. I broke some of my rankings down based on role to help pick the best hero for you. The sheet has hero tiers from F to S. F heroes are to be used for fodder only. C-star heroes are the same, but can be used for high-quality 10-star fodder, especially if you already have a few in your lineup. Late-game B-star heroes should be replaced by A or S tier if you want to be competitive. Once you have all A tier heroes and above, it is extremely important that they synergize with each other. To explain synergy, this is when you have hero active and passive skills and abilities that pair well together. For example, Dragon Slayer has a passive called Inspiration that heals him when an ally crits, as well as a passive, Zeal, that deals extra damage to burning units. If you were trying to synergize heroes around Dragon Slayer, not an endgame tactic, just an example, you might pair him with champions like Demon Hunter with high crit, or Fat Mew that has burn chance. In my opinion, synergy trumps having a typical team composition, say X tanks, Y DPS, and Z healers. For example, take metas when dealing with MOBA games. You have certain combinations of skills that are better against a certain team. The challenge is finding a team synergy that works well together against the majority of enemy team compositions. Synergy is something that will take research and practice to determine and will constantly be changing as heroes get nerfed and buffed. However, this makes the game fresh and provides a constant challenge. The third prioritization is faction bonus. Faction bonus is not something that should be pursued at the cost of quality and synergy of your squad. This bonus is a stat increase based on the number of each faction you have in your team and is one of those small advantages that if paired with quality and synergy will make your team a foe to be reckoned with. There are only a certain combination that yield bonuses and each one is different at that. This addition is just another layer of complexity that can be used to separate the great teams from the good ones. I wanted to talk about role for the sole reason that it can't be completely thrown out the window and still expect your squad to do well. You need to be very certain that your team synergizes together before moving on to faction bonus. If you are not comfortable with the whole synergy thing, replace role with synergy as the item number 2 to prioritize. It is usually safe to have at least one tank, a few DPS, and potentially an off-tanker healer thrown in as well. Just know that the teams based on role might not be able to compete with high-caliber late-game compositions. 10-star Awakening adds another layer to idle heroes. Because it is so new, I have not ranked the heroes yet. However, I have included in my Excel sheet all of their stats. I hope these guidelines were helpful in giving you the resources and knowledge, or maybe just another opinion, of how to best tailor your team for success. If you liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more great guides and other content to come. And remember, it's all about how you look at things.